Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in for the session. Today we have Professor Rajinder Chauhan, who's the Dean for Center for Life Sciences at Mahindra University. Today he's going to talk to us about the newly launched B.Tech program in Biotechnology and Computational Biology at Mahindra University. Over to you, Professor.
Thanks, Rakesh. Well, good morning, all of you, and I welcome on behalf of the Mahindra University. And also thanks that you are joining us, and that means you are genuinely interested to know about the biotech and computational programs, which we are starting from this fall at Mahindra University. So I'll be taking you through, a couple of slides, introducing that what all biotech or computational biology is, and then how it can help you to build the career, whether it is in industry or academia, or even launching the startups. All right, so Mahindra University, as you know, that it is based in Hyderabad and run by the Mahindra Group. Initially in 2014, it was started as a Mahindra Ecole Central, which was a tripartite collaborations or the between Mahindra Group, Ecole Central Paris, which is one of the oldest French institution, almost 200 years, and then the JNTU Hyderabad. Initially, it started with the programs in core engineering, which was computer science, civil, electronics, and mechanical. In the May of 2020, the government of Telangana, authenticated it as or set up it as a private university named as Mahindra University. So the legacy continued in this Ecole Central School of Engineering at Mahindra University. Well, the purpose of the university is to educate future citizens for and of a better world, and the mission is to train multi-skilled leaders capable of reflection and committed to sustainable progress. We have a very strong different schools, so therefore aiming for interdisciplinary academic excellence, integrating the study of science and technology with humanities, ethics, philosophy, and design. And finally, these graduates will also be trained to launch their startups through entrepreneurial projects to solve complex challenges of the society. One of the core strengths of Mahindra University has been to have international collaborations with the couple of institutes are listed here. What that list keeps on increasing almost every month or fortnightly. Well, before I move forward, I would like to just introduce myself. I have very recently joined here at Mahindra University, as Rakesh ji pointed out. So I did my PhD in 1991 in agriculture biotechnology, for which the government of India awarded me outstanding research award. Thereafter, I availed the government of India, again, Ministry of Science and Technology fellowships, went to University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I got training in the area of advanced genomics. I have been heading the programs of biotechnology and bioinformatics for almost 16 years now. And during this period, our program was ranked #1 among all the private institutions in India. And for that, you can see on the left side two pics. One of them is the current Vice Chancellor, receiving the award, because I was a faculty at that time at my previous institution, Professor Yaz Maduri. And then in 2013, I received the award, and the ladies over this pic is the Dr. Kiran Mazumdar Shah, who was the founder and chairman of Biocom, which is one of the first biotech big company based in Bangalore. I have been a very strong researcher. My research was supported through the Government of India R&D projects. I have a couple of grants and PhD scholars. But the most important part that we have been doing is that the master's students, after doing their B.Tech, have been going abroad with the scholarships to pursue their master's degree. Well, why biotech and computational biology at Mahindra University? So the next few slides will educate you or tell you that why there is a necessity of biotechnology, or how it was started as a separate discipline of biotechnology, as well as computational biology, and what is the market potential of these two fields. What are the various career avenues, and then industry, what are the packages, because many times we get questions from the parents or even the students. Curricular novelties, what we have implemented at Mahindra University, and then world-class faculty and infrastructure that I will share. Well, all of you must be aware of the insulin drug, and which is used as the prime anti-diabetic drug. So the biotech was born with the necessity of meeting the demands of large population across the world. Initially, before the biotech was born as a discipline, almost 2 tons of pig's pancreas were used to extract, which was giving around 200 grams of insulin. So that was not meeting the demands of the patients globally. And the second concern was that since the insulin was coming from the animal source, so that was causing immunogenic reactions among patients. And then two scientists who were working in California, different institutions. So one of them was working in the area of plasmids, which are the extra chromosomal DNA molecules in the bacterial cell. And the other one was working on how to cut the DNA, that is the restriction enzyme. So those of you who are coming from the bio background, are familiar with these terms. So basically, these two scientists, they joined together. They said that why can't we just clone the insulin coding gene from the humans and then put it in the bacteria and make the bacteria to produce a large amount of insulin under controlled conditions. So the biotech primarily started with these two segments. One, the genetic engineering, gene cloning, and then producing the insulin, and how to upscale it, how to produce large amount of insulin globally. So that's the second part of it, which is the right side of the slide. That covers so our curriculum is primarily focused, though there have been several advancements in these two segments, catering to various domains of biotechnology. Then how the computational biology or bioinformatics was created as a separate discipline. Well, computational biology primarily deals with the computational methods which are applicable in molecular biology, and then what kind of computer-aided techniques or tools are used to solve the biological problems. So that's very essential today. So these two fields are more or less complementary, except the difference is that the computational biologists would be working towards the computational challenges to solve the bio problems, whereas the biotech people will be primarily doing experimental work, but yes, heavily supported by the computational biology. So the courses and curricula differ accordingly, that what kind of courses, those will be done. So just to introduce you that, what computational biology means, humans, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, which is called as genome. And that's the total is 3.2 billion nucleotides, long. And to my knowledge, Mahindra University is probably one of the first in India to launch this computational program, but otherwise, most of the tier 1 institutions, particularly in the US, are already running this program for the last, 5-6 years. So that's a great, initiative by the Mahindra University. Well, we also know that the genome, basically genome is what the collection of 4 letters, A, T, G, C, which go up to 3.2 billions, as I said, and how those 3.2 billion nucleotides determine the function of whether it is the structure of the body or it's the functioning of the body, whether it is in the healthy or it's in the disease state, or even in any other organism, is determined by these 4 letters arrangement. So the big challenge before the so-called molecular biologists or initial biologists was, because early days when the genes were cloned or the DNA was sequenced, at the time it was targeting mainly one gene, which is hardly like say 2,000 or 3,000 nucleotides. When in 1995 the first bacterial genome was sequenced, that's around 4.5 to 5 million nucleotides long. The challenge was that how to analyze this particular long sequence, how to extract biological information out of this sequence, and then how to utilize it for various practical applications, whether it is for the diagnostics or it's for the development of the drugs. And that's where the role of computational biology, and that's what the computational biologists do, and not only dealing with the nucleotide sequence, but eventually dealing with a lot of applications, which I'll be very briefly sharing today with you. Well, so the the biotech and the computational biology professionals are definitely in high demand. I keep on seeing almost every week a requirement of, for a postdoc or a graduate student, particularly in the western part of the world, looking some of the areas. So these are all futuristic or even currently used in several countries, the technologies impacting the medicine practice. And I know that I have, come across parents sometimes, or even the students who are coming from the bio background, saying that, my first priority was to become a doctor, medical doctor, but could not. So what should I do? Well, let me just, tell you that the future of medicine practice is going to be heavily impacted by biotechnology. And those technologies are listed here. So genomic medicine, I'll explain in the next slide what it means. Gene therapies, genetic counselors to counsel the patients or even the general public, what kind of genetic problems one can have, or how to remedy those. Nanomedicine, so the drugs would be delivered through nanoparticles, particularly for the cancer, where it has been a big challenge. 3D printed organs, we have a stem cell technology area, for which we already have hired a faculty, through which you can develop or you can generate 3D organs in the lab, and those can be utilized either for transplanting or even for studying various other biological phenomena. Surgery is being done through robotics. Again, you need people who are trained across disciplines, biotech plus other areas. Biofuels and green products, another area, which is again, most of the petro-based chemicals, and the classical example is, plastic, which is causing heavy pollution. So that's being replaced with the bioplastic. Same is true for several cosmetics or even other industrial chemicals, which were otherwise derived through petro-based raw material, are being produced through bio-based, because those are at least degradable and do not cause harm to the environment. Healthcare informatics, certainly, the diagnostics today are based on image analytics, where the disease phenotype or disease images are used by the doctors by using the computational tools developed by the computational biologists. Computational drug discovery. So drug discovery has been, speeded up tremendously after after this computational tools were, discovered or developed for discovering the drugs. And classical example is the SARS-CoV-2 virus. When this virus came in, fortunately, different labs across the world put up the virus sequence in the databases, which was publicly available. So immediately then, scientists or industries working across the world picked up that sequence and then used for the development of the diagnostics, as well as for the vaccines or even certain therapeutic drugs. Finally is the precision agriculture. Now that's the modernization of the agriculture, and it's not just for the sake of industry, but for the benefit of the farmers, because the precision would optimize the input of the fertilizers. It would also tell the farmers that, when some chemicals have to be sprayed, when a particular resource has to be put up. And that's again driven by various computational tools, as well as certain digital devices like, drones and sensors. Well, this slide, tells that the traditional medicine, which is mostly it is currently also used in certain countries, particularly in India. And the example here given is the cancer, colon cancer. Now, what happens in the cancer? There is one drug which is prescribed, chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery are the three medical interventions which are done to treat cancer. Now, in chemotherapy, what happens, for certain patients, that one drug, it is effective. For others, there is no effect at all, and there is adverse effect. And there are several cases where the adverse effects have caused the life of the patient. Now, what is happening with the modern medicine or the future medicine, which is being practiced in certain parts of the world, that the cancer patients' blood samples are taken, or tissue sample is taken, and then the DNA is isolated, it is sequenced, and then accordingly from the genomic profile of an individual, the drug is prescribed. So that means a specific therapeutic treatment is defined as per the genomic profile of an individual. So that way, what happens that that is effective for all categories of the patient. So that's where I was telling that the medicine practice is going to change, or it's already changing in certain parts of the world. Well, the other area is the gene therapy by editing. And there is one technology which has come, which is CRISPR technology, which is, within 10 years, that technology won the Nobel Prize. And the way it is expanding in almost, several segments of biotech, wherein that if there is a defective gene in an individual, that can be corrected through that technology, through stem cells. These are few examples. I have just put it up here, but there are close to 100 cases now where gene therapy has been, developed, and there are certain cases where it is being commercially used. And the commercial use, one of the use, I'm putting it here. The reason being that, so there is one Swiss biotech company by the name of Novartis, which has developed a gene therapy for a spinal muscular atrophy disease. But the cost is, very high, and the drug is Zolgensma. It costs around 18 crores per dose. And some of you must have read, I guess last year or so in the newspaper that, one or two families, their children were suffering through this particular disease, and then they were unable to meet the expenses. So this is a sort of challenge for all of us, that we need to look at the genetic problems of our, particularly Indian population, because it's very unique. And then also parallelly develop certain cost-effective, affordable healthcare interventions, which are based on, biotech. I would like to add that all these interventions, whether it is the genomic medicine or it's a gene therapy, are heavily supported through computational biologists, because these all deal with the genomes, and experimental biologists or biotech person can't really move forward unless it is supported through computational biologists. Well, the market scenario of biotechnology or computational biology is primarily in these 5 segments, wherein biopharma captures the major part, wherein the biosimilars, the vaccines, insulin, regenerative medicine, medical devices are few of the areas in biopharma. And as you know that this particular part of India is going to be becoming a biopharma hub of India. Second segment is the bioindustry, which is the biofuels, industrial enzymes, as well as biopolymers and bioproducts, which I said that the plastics, bioplastic, or even certain other products. Bioservices is, again, there are several industries based in India who do the contract manufacturing or getting the sequences done. And clinical research, as you must have seen during the COVID crisis, the clinical research was, speeded up like anything. Then is the bio IT, that is the IT interventions in biotechnology, as I have been saying that, whether it is the big data or it's the precision medicine or various, almost every domain it is being used. Agriculture is another area, though slightly more important for a country like India. The GMOs, though at present are on limited scale, but yes, definitely there are discussions to expand it. Hybrid seeds, biofertilizers, biopesticides, which are replacements to the chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides, which are the major cause of pollution in India. Well, the overall, how the biotech industry, well, it is one of the fastest growing industry in India. So if you look at the global biotech, growth is around 750 billion US dollars in 2020, and it is growing at a cumulative annual growth rate of close to 16% for the period next few years. Indian biotech industry is expected to grow at 19% growth rate. And we are one of the, among top 12 biotech destinations in the world and third largest in Asia. That's the situation with the country. The Indian bioeconomy today stands at close to $75 billion, and it is expected to reach $250 by 2025. We have large number of biotech startups today, around 4,000 plus, and expected to reach 10,000 by 2024. And there is a heavy support by various ministries of the government of India to really launch startups with the financial support even up to the level I'll share in the next slide that, there are close to 5,000 biotech companies, and most of those are based in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, and very few in other parts of India. Well, the segment already shared. So what are the various career domains I have just listed out in this particular, shown in this slide? There are 4 segments where the biotech or the computational biology professionals will be can work in addition to pursuing higher education abroad or even launching the startups. So R&D is a major segment, and you can see in the R&D whether it is the discovery component or it is the preclinical, biopharmaceutical, project management, clinical development, regulatory affairs. So that is the R&D domain. Commercial applications, operations, whether it is the corporate communications, product support, sales, or marketing. Operations quality, that's primarily for the biotech core people, but the bio IT as the computational biology domain. And then there are service sectors, across various other segments. So these are some of the career segments, plus there are several more. Just put here to answer a few questions which I normally get, like, what is the starting salary for a fresher? So that's some of the companies and based in India, that's their current salary for the freshers. What the senior persons can go a better salary, and more importantly, depends on how do you do during your 4 years of B.Tech in the university. So that determines heavily what kind of projects you do, what kind of curricula do you follow. Well, this is the program which is run by the Department of Biotechnology under the Ministry of Science and Technology, which is called the Biotech Industry Research Assistance Council, BioRec. Now, if you see, it supports, financially supports, I would say, the students, even the first year students. I have had certain undergrads in the past who during their second or third year, reached up to the finale. So they do competitions almost every year. So when our first batch joins, next week, I'll be sharing the details of the details of this program. But yes, this is one of the very useful, very supportive, and definitely provides a great incentive for those who have a mindset towards starting their own company. Well, the critical part is that how do we train our undergrads to become very successful professionals. Our philosophy, teaching learning philosophy, is based on curriculum to career, that how our curriculum leads to the development of career, whether it is in, as I said, industry, or it's in academia, or it's for higher education, or even launching a startup or running a company. So there are 3 major components in it. One is the what kind of courses, when those courses are lined up in the semester, because we have a 4-year program in running in 8 semesters. What are the contents in those courses, and are the courses and the contents meeting the competencies which are required? So let's say a computational biologist is getting trained in the area of medical informatics. So whether those courses are really meeting those requirements. So that's the responsibility of us, the faculty, and the institution as a whole. But the focus is to build the competencies, professional competencies. So I've just listed out here the 8 segments, curricular segments, that broadly the courses our curriculum covers. We have courses in sciences, which includes biology, mathematics, statistics, physics, and chemistry. Now you see that there are certain segments, and particularly the one insulin slide I show, because I get certain queries sometimes that, a student has not done math, basic math in +1, +2, but then why he or she has to do mathematics? Well, you see the insulin, one is the engineering the genes, another one is the production, large quantity of that insulin. And there are thousands of products which go through the same technological route. Now to upscale a process, you need to understand basics of math. And we transition this basic math in a very, transition is like not very hardcore, which is for other engineering streams. Similarly, statistics also used for the analysis of, the genetic data or several other data. Physics and chemistry, yes, we have a very strong, chemistry, because that is required for understanding the phenomena, various chemical processes. And physics, because we have a very biosensors is a major segment, so optics covers that component. We have core biotech and computational biology courses, which would be around 40 to 50%. And then we do have engineering courses, primarily from computer science and electronics. Now, the computational biologists would do more computer science courses compared to the biotech people. Electronics is more or less same for both. Similarly, the biostatistics is for the biotech and the computational biologists as well. We do have humanities courses. That's the mission of the institution. Foreign language, French, as you saw on the second slide, that it was primarily in collaboration with the École Centrale. So that's the reason the students, when they go to France, because there are very world-class institutions doing research on the area of, we will be sharing with our students once they land up at the campus. The finance and management courses are also part of the curriculum. Entrepreneurship and launching a startup. So we have a special program in this area. Well, electives are the very flexible component of the curriculum. Now, electives are courses which we can start even after these 2 years. So first 2 years are the fundamental and applied courses. Third year, we introduce electives. Now, electives, let's say if I'll be coming to the next slides, mentioning some certain thing about the specializations. But in electives, one can even go beyond biotechnology or computational biology. So that's to diversify your academic profile. So let's say somebody is graduating in biotechnology but would like to take certain courses in management, or even in media, or even in the law. One can take those courses. So that's a big incentive for the students to broaden their profiles. Industry and international internships, again, major thrust of the program would be here. And fortunately, we are located in Hyderabad. So that way, there are a large number of pharma, biotech industries who are really looking forward for very smart professionals in the biotech domain, or even in the computational biology domains. International internships, as I mentioned earlier, that we have certain academic collaborations, but yes, we are expanding those, and we will have many more as per the requirements of the students, so that the students can go abroad and they can do an internship of 1 semester, or even later on can pursue their masters. Well, how do we inculcate these professional competencies in the classroom, or during the labs, or during the course of study? There is a heavy focus on student-centric learning. Each student should learn. There could be certain difficulty levels among students, but yes, for that we have the classes scheduled in a way that we have the lectures, we have the tutorials, and then we have the lab component, and plus the students can also interact with faculty during the off-class of hours. In the tutorial, the students, are trained more. They are helped to solve problems, and if somebody is lagging behind in something, that is taken care by the concerned faculty. So it's a very, very individual student-centric learning. Case studies is one of the major thrust of our curriculum delivery in the course of degree, whether it is the first year course or its second year. We always consider the real world problems or real world situations while describing any concept in the class, because that connects immediately that why something is being taught. Like say, the bio people who are in the webinar, they know that the Mendel's laws are the fundamentals of genetics. But the question is that how those are impacting today. So the gene therapy treatments would have not been possible if the Mendel's laws were not discovered. So that kind of connect, it really makes things to understand easily. Project-based learning. Again, almost every course, we have the course-based projects. We do have independent projects, for the students. And right in first year, I always encourage the faculty and particularly the students that if somebody plans to land up for their masters in a very top-ranking institutions in the world or anywhere, please do start projects very early, and the student and the faculty are there to really mentor you, to help you, because that builds your profile very strongly and definitely puts you in an edge over other students. And the internships in the industry or the international institutes, which I mentioned to you. Well, we do have the option of specializations, because biotech is a very broad and very diverse field. It caters the healthcare, it caters the food and agriculture, it caters the environmental issues like, say, the biofuels. So accordingly, we run these specializations so that if any student has inclination or interest towards a particular domain, we will run the courses as well as a very strong in the project, preferably in the industry. So one of the specialization is the pharmaceutical biotechnology that is intentionally run because the Hyderabad is coming up as a pharma hub. Second specialization is the personalized medicine, which I gave the example of cancer, that how the knowledge of genomics can help to prescribe individual-based medicine. Third one is digital agriculture. Again, as I said before, that the application of drones, application of biosensors, plus the computational tools is going to definitely revolutionize the agriculture. And there is a big thrust by the government of India to really transform or really, make it more farmer beneficial interventions. And fourth one is the green bio-based products, which I mentioned earlier, that the bioplastic or any petro-based chemicals are being replaced through the bio-based interventions. For computational biologists, we have 5 specializations, planned out, and these are in the beginning. I just, if any new domain becomes important in the next 2 years, definitely you'll take into consideration and run specialization in that domain as well. Healthcare informatics is one segment. Again, the government of India has launched EHR, Electronic Health Records program, which is already running almost every part of the world very heavily. And that's where a heavy demand is of computational biologists who are trained. And this specialization we would run in collaboration with the IT industry and as well as the hospitals. Computer-aided drug discovery is another specialization. Most of the pharmaceutical industries are today in high demand for the computational biologists because they want to accelerate their discovery process to bring drugs which are effective soon in the market at a reasonable price. Computation in agriculture. So it's slightly different than the digital agriculture because the computational biologists will primarily focus on the computational tools, pipelines, or the what kind of interventions are required to really capture the data on various components of agriculture. Biological system modeling is something which is, again, very important to really engineer the organisms by biotechnologists. The computational people can tell that, if it would be useful if you put your interventions at this point in the organism's genome. So that's where this knowledge would be used. Computational genomics is, again, as I described in the beginning, that how the computational biologists help in determining, but it is mainly focused towards the precision medicine, where the knowledge of the genomic profile. So it's a big data coming out. I mean, there is a huge data which is available for not only for the humans, but various other animals, microbes, bacteria, virus. That there are around 7-8 lakhs of SARS-CoV-2 virus sequences in the data set, and that's helping tremendously. And I was reading a few days back that there is a computational tool which can now foresee or which can predict whether what kind of SARS-CoV-2 variant is likely to come, though it may not be 100% accurate because it's kind of hard to simulate what virus is going to do. But that's the kind of tools being developed by the computational biologists. Well, the faculty profile. So we have right now 9 faculty, already who have, some of those have already joined and some are likely to join next week or maybe a month later. So myself, and you can see the profile, I just put it here just to apprise the, all of you that the Mahindra University is very particular about the faculty because faculty and the curricula determine the major competencies or major outcomes of the program. Infrastructure, I mean, anybody can buy heavy equipments or great labs, but the most important part is the faculty and the curriculum, because they deliver the curriculum. So myself is there, and then we have Dr. Runa Kule. She has done her PhD from Wageningen University in Netherlands, and postdoc she did from University of Washington, Seattle. She's primarily specializes in the area of microbial genomics, bacterial genomics. Dr. Piyush Burman, he's done his PhD Institute of Life Sciences, Bhubaneswar, which is the DBT Government of India Institute, very prestigious institution. He has done his two postdocs. One is in Siraj Sini Medical Center, Los Angeles, and another one he did from University of Illinois, Chicago, focused on stem cell biology. Dr. Akanksha Singh, she's going to join us on 1st October. She did her PhD from Banaras Hindu University, which is Central University, very strong, one of the top in human genomics, human genetics. She again did two postdocs, one at Cornell University, New York, and second one, National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, Maryland. And she specializes in the area of systems genetics, which is going to be useful for that, computational genomics and precision genomics. Dr. Sanjeev has done his PhD from University of Wageningen in Netherlands, and he's doing postdoc in Seattle Children's Research Institute in the US, specializes in yeast systems biology, which is again important because yeast engineering has been used for the production of various products today. Dr. Varun has done his PhD from JP University in Solon, HP, and he's done again two postdoc. He's Agriculture Research Organization, Volcanic Center in Israel. He's there for 4 years, and currently he's based in Spain, Madrid. He specializes in the area of metabolic engineering in plants. Then Dr. Jayato Nayak has done his PhD from NIT Durgapur, and then thereafter he started working, specializes in the area of bioprocess engineering, which is this part in the right-hand part of the insulin production, large-scale production. Dr. Prakash Arun Nemade has done his PhD from NIT Bhopal, and thereafter he did his part of his work at Dr. D.Y. Patil Biotech and Bioinformatics, one of the oldest bioinformatics program that university has been running. He specializes in computational biology, data analytics, and machine learning. Dr. Santosh Thakur did his PhD from IIT Dhanbad, and thereafter he was at DIT University Dehradun. He specializes in artificial intelligence, blockchain, big data and applications in the area of healthcare informatics. Well, we are setting up these labs. The process already started. So we will have very modern, futuristic labs, which will cater the technical, requirements of the industry or academia for the years to come. Genomics and genome engineering, plant cell tissue cultures, stem cells and tissue engineering, immunology and antibody, bioprocess engineering, nanotechnology, biosensors, microbial systems, genetics and mol bio, food and agri-biotech, high-end instrumentation. We have already a NVIDIA supercomputer, which is going to be very, very useful for the computational biologists, but also biotech people will use. And then workstation and computational bio softwares. Well, we are planning to set up our labs in this building, Center for Life Sciences. So that's already in process. I just thought of sharing, two great technocrats, what they think of overall bioscience, or whether it is computational biology. So everyone must be knowing Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. So he said that artificial intelligence, energy, biosciences are promising fields where you can make a huge impact. It's what I would do if starting out today. Francis Collins, probably, some of you may not be knowing, but Francis Collins was the first person to clone the first gene of humans, cystic fibrosis. And it took him in early or mid-80s, around 10 years, which today can be done through the computational biologists within 2-3 years. He was the NIH National Institutes of Health director for around 12 years. What he said, if I was a senior in college, I would be a computational biologist. And currently he's science advisor to Mr. Biden, the US president, guiding the policies of science in the US. So with this, I thank you all. Thank you for listening me patiently, and now I'm open for questions.
Professor, there are a few questions in the Q&A box. You can just kind of look into it.
Oh, okay. Let me just open
the audience. If you have any questions, please key in your question in the Q&A box, please.
To get to this one. Unshare this one. Hopefully that would. Yeah. So I have questions. Let me. Yeah. Please share the electives you will be providing in the biotech course. Oh, the list of electives. I can get it. Because so let's say I need to find those in my folder, but I have the list of electives with me. I need to get those. I'll get those in the folder. But primarily, let's say if somebody is going to in the area of biomedical, like say genomics area, so we will have electives in the area of human genomics, basics of human genetics, and then stem cell genomics. So those are the few electives. So every domain will have electives. Similarly, like say somebody wants to go into the area of green biotech, so accordingly we will have electives. How to, like say, production of bioplastic, biofuels, like say bioenergy, industrial enzymes, bio-based products. So these electives are with us, and we float those electives as per the choice of the student. Second question is by Chaitanya. Since biotech causes harm to the natural environment, how does this ensure? Oh, that's wrong, impression or somewhere. As I pointed out in my whole presentation, that the biotech is impacting heavily today in two segments. One is the healthcare, another one is the environment. The question what you have raised. So the if the biotech is not there, look at the plastic problem. It's very, very heavy. Not only plastic, look at the chemicals being dumped into the soil, whether it is the pesticides or fertilizers. So most of those are being replaced through bio-based products, which are environment friendly, green, degradable. The only concern which people have is the genetically modified organisms, that too for the food crops. Otherwise, we have already cotton in India growing, which is genetically engineered. And that does take care of, because otherwise the farmers spray tremendous pesticides. So that's the reason. So there is no way that it causes harm. Rather, it protects the environment. As I said, that the precision agriculture or the computational agriculture is going to definitely reduce the input of those, environment harming pesticides or fertilizers. What specialization should we do after these 4 years in biotech to get a good job? Well, when you do a B.Tech degree in the first year, or preferably, or mostly like in second year, you will be running through courses, and that would expose you to different segments of biotech. So I mean, and then accordingly, as per your interest, as I said, that very diverse segments we have. Whether it is the biomedical. So let's say somebody wanted to become a doctor, could not, can go to medical segment and take up the precision genomics or gene therapy area. That's definitely very, very high in demand. Somebody has interest towards the food and agriculture, can accordingly take up that domain. So that all, by second year, students take a call, because by that time they are already exposed to various segments of biotech. When we can start participating in internship right after first year of biotech, we personally need to apply for them. Well, yes, we are the faculty mentors sitting here, and we encourage. That's what we have been doing in the past as well. Encourage the students to go for internship every summer if somebody is not going on vacation with parents or alone. But yes, we do support. We do help the students to link up with the industry. But again, as per the interest of the student, which industry he or she would like to go. Does biomedical genetics come under biotech? Yes, it very strongly comes under biotech. As you saw that how the biotech was born or started in the mid 70s through the discovery of cloning the insulin gene and putting it in bacteria. So that is part of this one. Presentation. No, what are the roles or scopes in plant operations for biotech industries for future? Yes, that's what I said that if you see I always take the example of insulin because that's the so the plant operation is that how are we going to mass produce, and fortunately we have Bharat Biotech based in Hyderabad, which produced our first indigenous vaccine in India, and definitely we would like to take the students to saw the operations, how they do it on such a massive scale. India is the largest producer of vaccines and the generic drugs, and we have very good industries in India. So certainly on-site visits would be a major part of the curriculum. Will we get help from staff for project work? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the way we structure our life sciences, that the labs, the faculty, the PhD students, and the undergrad project students are more or less in the same area, so that they are under, they can always anytime go to the faculty or technicians. What is the difference between, well, bioinformatics and computational biology? Not a big difference. Bioinformatics primarily deals with the the storage of data, how to store it, how to retrieve it, creation of databases, etc. But yes, there are certain overlapping components. Computational biology deals with the computational aspects to mine the data, biological data, to extract and utilize the biological data for various applications. So that's the broad difference. But otherwise, there is a lot of overlapping parts. Do we have a student exchange program? Yes, already in some of the engineering programs, students have been going abroad, and some of the universities I listed out are there, and there will be definitely exchange programs for in the area of both biotech as well as computational biology. Course is nearly starting. How could we compare scope of placements? Oh, well, see, one thing which I would like to mention here, it's a big difference when a new program is launched. There is, when we start a program, we start with the current infrastructure, which is going to cater for the next 10 years. If you look at any program, whether it is in IITs or NITs or even any private institution running for a longer time, it becomes a bit difficult for them to upgrade the infrastructure straight away, which is very modern as per today, and caters next at least 10 years requirements of the professionals. So that's a big difference. And the faculty also, the faculty what we have today are trained in the current and the futuristic segments, which again differs from the well-established program. And the placement is totally based on your competencies. As I said that, our curriculum is driven, competency driven, right? So it doesn't matter today for industry. It doesn't matter if somebody is capable of engineering a gene or doing something innovative, whether he or she is coming from IIT or coming from Mahindra University. No difference at all. How you train non-math students? We have a very elementary course which is called as basic biology in the first semester. So the students who are coming from the math background, they will be educated on basics of biology, but not a traditional biology, the biology which is going to be relevant for the biotechnology as well as computational biology. So it would be a very simple transition. As I said that I have been into this academic role for the last several years, so that way students are accordingly trained. One is the course starting. Registration is on 7th and I think 8th probably, but yes. So the better would be early, admissions and getting on with the program. What would be different about choosing a specialization or a bachelor degree versus a master? Well, master's degree, it takes you. So we have a plan to transition after maybe 3 years, transition towards master's by doing extra 1 year. So 4 year plus 1, 5 years, you get a master's degree. In master's, you basically work primarily on a major research area, which is quite challenging compared to what one does in the B.Tech. Specialization is that you have done a B.Tech 4 years degree, but you have, strengthened or sharpened your knowledge and skills in a particular domain, right? May not have done a very, very strong PhD thesis, sorry, not a PhD thesis, but a master's level thesis. So that's the main difference. I hope I have answered the questions which were there, and would be happy to take more questions. If there are any questions, please do ask. And I'll be, meeting you on 7th, the day of registration. Yeah. So looking forward to see you, those who are planning. But be assured that your career definitely will be built here as per your ambitions, as well as ambitions of your parents, connected with your passions. So that's gonna be there. What about a 5 years integrated? That's what I said, that we will open this option when you enter in second year or third year. When you complete your second year, we will have the 5-year integrated program. Yes, we plan it already. I mean, okay.
Yeah, Professor, I think we've done with all the questions actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I think we'll wrap up this session with your closing remarks, please.
Oh, okay. So, well, thanks. Thank you all the participants for patiently hearing me for almost 1 year, and I would be more than happy. I can share my contact number. It is 94-184-05536. If anybody has any questions, please do give me a call anytime for related to your queries on biotech program and computational biology. And as I have joined last week, so definitely I'm gonna stay here for a longer period. So my assurance is you can always pull me if there is anything deficient. So with this, I thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining.
Just Rakesh, somebody asked to repeat my phone number, so I'm just repeating it once again. It is 94-184-05536. All right. So thanks, Rakesh ji. Thank you very much to you as well.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you everyone for joining in.
Thanks. Yeah. So I can leave now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thanks.